Hey everyone, what's going on? Mark here from TST Industries, back in the garage. And behind me, I have the all-new 2025 Suzuki DR-Z4 SM. And in this video, I'll be guiding you through the installation process of our TST LED front pod turn signals. Now, it is important to note we offer a few different front pod turn signal choices, from our Echoes to our BL6 sequential turn signals and even our Quadrix sequential turn signals. We have a few different styles to really fit your needs and the desired look on your bike. But in this particular video, I will be guiding you through the installation process of our BL6 sequential turn signals. Now, it is important to note, we do sell these turn signals. We also sell our plug-and-play harness adapters, as well as the mounting hardware to secure them onto your bike. So please be sure to read through the product pages carefully, fully understand what you are purchasing. We do sell these items a la carte, meaning by themselves, as replacement components. So if you buy a bundle and you end up just needing or wanting a different turn signal, you can purchase that by itself. But please note, when you purchase a signal by themselves, they do not include the necessary plug-and-play harness adapters or the mounting plates to secure them to your bike. Now, this installation process is very straightforward. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump right in and begin the install. To begin this install, we do need to disassemble this headlight shroud off of the motorcycle. In order to do this, we will grab a 5mm hex key, Allen key, T-handle, hex bit, and remove two bolts. We have one located on this bottom face at an angle, and then we have one located right at the top near the dash. Now we will repeat this same steps on the opposite side. The bolts are in the same location. Now, with the hardware removed, we can remove this front shroud. Gently pry outward, and if you do run into any sort of tension, just note that there are these tabs located on all four posts. One of them may be caught on the surface, so just be careful, maneuver it out, and it'll free it. Now, with that front shroud removed, you have full access to the front turn signals. The two connectors we are going to focus on are this red one on the right and this black one on the left. We will begin by disconnecting them. If you have a small flathead or a small pick, that might be useful, but it is not necessary. As you can see here, if you gently push down, you can actually disconnect. But if you are using a tool, be very careful. This is a soft plastic and you do not want to permanently damage it. Now, with these wires, with these connections disconnected, we can begin unrouting the signal wires. Now, it is important to note, if you are not careful in this, or if you have fat fingers, you're Mr. All Thumbs, you may want to go ahead and just cut this small zip tie, but it is not necessary if you're careful. And I will show you, if you are very, very careful, you can actually, and I apologize, I'm gonna have to hop on over to this angle. If you are careful, you can actually push this connector through the zip tie and all of the sheathing with it. And this allows you to reuse the factory zip tie without making any modifications to what you're doing. So that retains all of the other connectors in place to the factory spec. But if you have some zip ties laying around, or if you're not confident in your ability to do this, you can simply cut this zip tie and reconfigure it at a later point. Now, with a 10mm wrench, open-ended wrench is the best tool for this. We will go ahead and break this nut loose. There's one nut holding the front turn signals in place. Once you break it loose, you can unthread it by hand. You can see here we removed the nut from that. And now there is a flat washer located on the back of this turn signal. So what we're going to do is gently pull the signal out, carefully routing the wires out of their factory position. And while you're holding the flat washer, you're just going to very carefully snake the OEM turn signal out. Now you can remove this flat washer. And the very last step is to remove this rubber gasket. So we'll remove the cylinder from inside and then just gently pry outward. And just like that, you have now removed your front turn signal and all of the factory hardware. We are going to repeat these steps on the opposite side at this point. Now with our TST LED pod turn signal in hand, we can begin the installation. Now it is important to note, for our BL6 sequential turn signals, which are the signals we are installing, these are side specific. Our company name, TST Industries, is inscribed on the back, and it is side specific. So these will go on the left side, whereas these will go on the right side. Now, we have removed the washer and nut that are pre-installed on these signals. We have them in hand. And before we get into this, we need to grab our adapter mounting hardware kit. Now, this is a 6-piece kit. You have 2 of each of these components. We have a raised washer, a large flat washer, and then a small circular flat washer. You can use any combination of 2 of these that you would prefer. So if you would like to use a small one and the larger flat one, you can do so. If you want to be a little stylish and go with the raised one and either the flat or the small one on the inside, you can do that as well. The choice is yours as long as you understand that you do have to use 2 washers in pair. We will grab our turn signal along with the hardware that we remove from it. And in this case, we will use the larger flat washer along with the raised one. And we're going to sandwich these plates with this hardware wrapped around this bracket. So first we will grab the raised one. We will feed the signal wires and connectors through it, like so. Now we will feed this through the signal mounting bracket. And the next step will be to grab the larger flat washer and repeat these steps. And now we can feed the small stainless steel washer along with the locking nut for the signal and feed all of this through to sandwich it in place. So I'm going to begin this by hand. Always begin by hand. And you tighten on the nut side. Do not twist the turn signal and hold the nut in order to tighten it. That can cause failure down the road. I've left things loose so you can kind of see what we're doing here. But basically we just need to maneuver this in a way that we are happy with while hand tightening the nut and just barely bottoming it out until these signals are secure, just like so. So you can see that was very straightforward. If you opt to go with the different hardware, the smaller flat circular washer, you would just replace one of these with that component and it does the same exact job. Now with a 13mm wrench in hand, you can go ahead and tighten this locking nut down. It is important to note while you're doing this, you want to look at the angle of the turn signal, make sure you have the correct turn signal installed, and then hold the base, the stud of the signal while you are tightening the nut down. And you don't want to over tighten it. You want it to just barely begin to flare out the base of the signal, the rubber base. That means it is preloaded, and you can see here moving it around, it does not move. Now, before we wrap this up, we want to go ahead and always test our connection. So we will grab our plug and play harness adapters, and in this case we will just be connecting yellow to yellow and black to black. Isolate the connection points with the included rubber insulators, and then you can go ahead and plug your turn signal in. And you can see here right now we do not have a functioning turn signal because we do not have our LED flasher relay installed. And that is also caused by the introduction of our integrated taillight and fender eliminator system on the rear. Now we do have a plug and play LED flasher relay. We have a separate video for that, but for demonstration purposes, I'm going to very quickly install the relay so you can see the connection and verify that it is functional. Your OEM factory relay is located behind this shroud. You can see it right here. And we are just going to disconnect this and plug in our relay. Now we can go ahead and power the bike on, test the turn signal, and you can see just like that, we do have a functioning turn signal. So please note, if you are changing out your front and rear turn signals or either of those, you may want to go ahead and just bite the bullet, switch to our LED flasher relay the moment you change one of these signals. That way you are safe and secure for the future. Our relay works with all of these stock components as well as all LED lighting and a mixture of both. Let's go ahead and remove this for now. And at this point, we can go ahead and actually route these wires as we would do so for the final installation. Now, a little side note is that we do include these rubber insulators over these bullet connectors. However, we always recommend using electrical tape to isolate these even further and provide an additional layer of security. Should these vibrate loose and come in contact with one another while the bike is powered on, you can short the circuit, blow a fuse, and then lose all of your lighting equipment. So please make sure you are using these rubber insulators at the very least. And for an added layer of security, we recommend adding on electrical tape and individually wrapping each of these connectors and then making a nice neat bundle. Now at this point, let's go ahead and reroute the wire through the factory zip tie. And you can see the wire length is actually longer than the factory turn signals. So we're gonna make a nice neat bundle behind the headlight and then plug this in. And you can see just like that, everything's nice and secure, tucked away. If you have the twist tie that's included with our turn signals, you can also use that if you do not have a zip tie and make a nice neat bundle. Now we can go ahead and hop on over to the other side and finalize this installation. All right, now that we have the nut threaded on by hand, we can go ahead and continue tightening it until we are bottomed out. And we can grab our 13mm wrench . Now, routing the wires on this side is a little tricky. You have this larger bundle going into the headlight. You also have this bracket that's holding the brake cables. You have a lot going on here, so you can route this as you see fit. Obviously reusing the factory zip tie location, whether it's with the zip tie or an aftermarket one, it doesn't matter. But you do want to ensure that that connection is secured using that method. And you can just make a nice neat bundle behind the rest. Feed the connector through it like so. And then of course, isolate the rubber insulators as an added layer of security. Give it one final adjustment. Both of those are mounted at the perfect angle. I'm very happy with this installation. And with that, you have completed the installation of our TST LED front pod turn signals. Now we can go ahead and begin the reassembly procedure with this front shroud. With your shroud in hand, you can go ahead and these bottom posts insert into this inner shroud. Use your hands as a guidance. Go ahead and grab your hardware. And I will start with this bottom bolt. Very slowly and carefully you begin threading this, ensuring you're not cross-threading and damaging the fastener. You can go to bottom out before fully tightening it down. Now we will do the top bolts. And just applying a gentle amount of pressure, pushing this inward helps ensure that you are installing this correctly. Hop on over to the other side. And now that all the hardware is tightened and bottomed out, we're gonna go another 1/8 of a turn, 1/8 of a full rotation, preloading that fastener, but not over tightening it to ensure that it is secured in place. Now we can double check our work. You can see we do have functional sequential turn signals. And just like that, you have successfully installed our TST LED front pod turn signals. And as you can see, compared to the stock units, our BL6 sequential turn signals are leaps and bounds ahead of the look and also functionality of the stock turn signals, all plug and play. And if you don't like our BL6 sequential turn signals, we do have other pod turn signals available. Now, this installation process was shown on the SM model, as you can see, but the process is the exact same for the S model as well. So have no fear, if you did buy an S model, you can follow these steps and successfully install aftermarket turn signals. Now, it is important to note that these stock front turn signals on this bike do not have a running light function. So by default, any of our turn signals will also not have a running light function. However, we do have components that can help you achieve and enable a running light function should you wish to go down that road. It is important to note, by doing so, you will be required to splice into a constant power source to obtain that running light function, such as your headlight wiring or an auxiliary power source or even the dash. Because this bike is being borrowed from a dealer, we cannot show you how to splice and modify that wiring, but it is very simple. We do have a running light connection kit video on our YouTube channel shown on a Kawasaki that kind of lays out the framework for how to identify a constant power source to introduce a running light function. So please check that out. And of course, if you have any questions, you can reach out to our customer support team or comment down below, and we'd love to help you out even more. Now, if you like these signals, you want to see what other signals we have available for your bike, or what other products we have for the DR-Z or any other bike that may be in your garage, please be sure to stop by our website, tstindustries.com. The link to these front signals can be found in the description below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you just want to say, hey, let us know where you're watching from, please feel free to do so in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. If you found this video helpful, give us a thumbs up. It helps let us know that we're doing a good job and delivering the message effectively. Of course, if you haven't already, you should hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on to stay up to date with all the new and exciting videos we have coming out for the new DR-Z and plenty of other models that have found their way into the TST HQ. And lastly, stop by our social media pages, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X, also Threads, all username TST Industries. For now, this has been Mark in the TST Garage. I thank you all for watching. You guys ride safe, and we'll catch you next time.